I'm so sorry for the people outside of the tent. Hey, bud, how you doing?
Can you go outside? These guys want to do
Can I don't. You want me to go outside for a while and
These
then?
guys are going to do something. No, I'm kidding.
I can do whatever you want, sir. You're the boss.
No, I'm kidding. See, look out. These guys are still so sweaty.
Where is the microphone? Hello.
Hello.
What's her name?
Abby.
Hi, Abby.
So what type of music, what like bands did you listen to when you were little, like 12 or 13?
My music taste developed kind of from two sides. My dad was heavily into like what you might call now classic rock bands like Kiss and Aerosmith and AC/DC and that kind of stuff. And my mom was really into Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan and Tracy Chapman and things like that. So my love of the hard rock, kind of over-the-top theatrics and the kind of kick-ass rock and roll stuff came from my dad, whereas my love of lyrics and songwriting and poetry came from my mom's interests. So when I was a kid, I kind of listened to both. Truth be told, I'd listen to Kiss as often as I listened to Bruce Springsteen or something like that. It's always funny to be filmed so close or to have photos taken so close. It's all right, you totally can. I just sometimes forget it and I look down and I'm like, holy shit, there's a camera right there.
What inspired you to want to like pursue music and pursue your career in music?
I always thought it was the coolest possible thing you could do. I remember when I was a little kid, I would say to my mom, why doesn't everybody do this? Like, this is so obvious. Like, we should all do this thing. And then as I got older, if I'm telling you the truth, it became about revenge. Like, he mentioned the idea of everybody that did me wrong, I'm going to show them. And the truth is that really up until maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, a lot of my life was based on, fuck those people, I'm going to show them, which is exhausting. But it was kind of equal parts, this is the coolest thing I could possibly do, and my art and the things, oh, awesome, there we go. Finally. Should always have a supplementary tent. So yeah, it was kind of a combination of the idea that this was the dream that I had and I just thought it was the coolest possible thing, and then exercising my demons and the things that upset me through the art that I created, and I was going to show people my mind and my ideas and all this stuff. And as I got older, it really has become more about the art itself and writing songs and the process of making records and performing. I'm sorry, what's that?
I said it like reaching people with your music.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is that the music itself is, for lack of a better term, it's an instrument to connect with people. When I was very young, I've said a lot, I didn't have a large friend group, I certainly wasn't popular, and I didn't know how to really talk to people. I've always had really bad social anxiety. And for me to be able to write songs that connected with people around the world, I was able to develop a sort of friendship with people based on the content and the art that I was creating. So that connectivity really was what bolstered everything. Is this me? Hello. Hi.
My question is, what advice would you give to kids who want to pursue more artistic career paths despite everyone telling them to go like unreasonable or logical ways?
Yeah, I mean, the truth is that every single person that's ever had a job in the arts on any capacity has done so under the pretense that someone said, oh, that doesn't happen, that's not how it works. My response when I was a kid was always, well, why is that? Why can't it be me? It happened to them, why can't it be me? The truth and the reality of it is that the way it can be you or anyone else is a tremendous amount of hard work. I have never subscribed to the theory that some people are born with more gifts than others when it comes to the arts. I feel like I was not born with a beautiful, amazing operatic voice, but I understood what I could do and I worked to that end. Any career in the arts or the entertainment business or whatever you want to call it, to me requires an exceptional amount of work and dedication and an understanding that what you want is actually probably harder to achieve than a traditional career. And the reason why is that there's no path. If you want to become any number of professions that are respectable, whether it's doctor, lawyer, whatever it is, It's incredibly difficult and incredibly time-consuming and expensive and everything else, but there is a path. You go to this school, you get this type of grades, you take this test, you do this amount of time, and then you will end up with that degree that will get you that job. There isn't that for a career in the arts. There isn't a clear trajectory. So the work has to be done every day on such a consistent basis, and you have to understand that what you're doing can tend to be a little bit harder than what other people are doing, and you have to be willing to put in the work.
Try and sit right here. She might have a better view. Hi.
Hello.
I don't mind. I want to ask, what's your favorite thing about Juliet?
Favorite thing about Juliet? Oh man, I can't. I'll tell you the truth. When I first heard her songs, was before we were dating, really before I had met her once just in passing, and I didn't really know anything about her, and I remember hearing her songs and thinking, wow, lyrically, at an artistic level, that person, I feel like I understand them. You know, as someone who writes songs, there's a connectivity that you feel with a song when you can understand the writer's point of view and perspective, and that was the first thing that I connected with. And when I first met her and we started kind of dating, on Warped Tour actually in 2011, I would go see her set every day, and I just felt so much, just an unbelievable connection to the music and what she was saying on stage and how she performed. And so while there's a million things I love about her and why we're married, the first thing and the thing that connected me the most to her was her mind and her art.
That was a great answer.
Hi.
Hello.
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song? Jeez. There's so many fucking songs. There's a few songs, and I mentioned Springsteen before, there's a few songs that when I was a teenager, I would really hold on to as kind of biblical and meant something to me when I was driving in my shitty Cadillac Eldorado that was falling apart to high school, and instead of actually going into high school, just sitting in the parking lot across the street and smoking cigarettes, waiting till high school let out so I wouldn't get arrested by the truancy officer. I was not a good student. Don't do that. But so I would sit and listen to music, and Bruce Springsteen's Born to Run always would just come on, and it just meant everything to me. It felt like I grew up in a small town. I think you've probably heard the story before of a person who comes from somewhere small and wants to get out. I grew up in a town in Ohio, and I just didn't feel like I belonged, and I wanted to leave, and I wanted to go somewhere. And so the lyrics and the vibe of Born to Run always spoke to me in that way.
Hey Eddie.
Hello.
Hey, so because Warped Tour was such a big part of your life and your dad's life and everything, and now it's all coming to an end with you.
Yes. Oh shit, is it coming to an end?
Are you working on, or are you planning on working on anything that has those influences into your music because of Warped Tour and everything? How it's just,
You know, it's difficult because I've said many times that I'm still kind of in the grieving process of Warped Tour. You have to understand that for me, this is between coming to it and performing on it, I believe my 10th or 11th Warped Tour that I've done in my life. And it has meant so much to me on a cellular level. It changed me. It made me, I feel like in many ways, when I was, and this might be a little too high concept, but when I was a little kid, people would call me Chunk and tell me I looked like Chunk from the Goonies and made fun of the way I looked. And I wasn't particularly handsome. I certainly wasn't anybody that girls wanted to talk to. I was just kind of this blob of creative thoughts and ideas that no one wanted to deal with. And I started going to Warped Tour, and I can remember seeing people like Davey from AFI on stage and thinking like, I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna look like that guy, and I'm gonna be that cool on stage, and that's who I'm gonna be. And so I don't know that there's a literal connection between thinking that and then manifesting it and looking a certain way. But to me, a certain part of me feels like that day changed everything. And how I am now, the music that I like, the way I look, my aesthetic choices, all that come from a basis that really started here. So I don't know what future things I could do that connect with it, other than right now I can tell you that it almost feels like I'm losing a friend in a way.
Yeah. Alright, thank you.